Hey, you are living out loud life with Crystal Ann. You know, it's fun. It's so fun. Like, we're all in some sort of recovery from life. I mean, God bless, we all just lived through like a pandemic. There was who we were before it and who we were after it. I know for me, like, my wellness recovery action plan was awesomely kept. It was awesome. But you know, life shut down, and man, some of the things that we rely on, they don't work out when the world shuts down. One of the things that I resolved was I was going to get a hold of my emotional healing. Like, I was going to climb and I was going to stretch for it no matter what it took. And I knew that the world would provide what I needed as it did. I just had to keep going. It's really funny. I was thinking about this time when I was studying overseas, and I took like a mini break over into Scotland. And during my journey, like, I was that, I guess, touristy person that was always like video cameraing, and this is back in the day when you had the big bags, and always doing that and taking pictures. And mostly it was because that was a lot of my drinking days, and I thought if one day I ever wanted to reflect back on it, then at least I would have pictures of where I was. I literally would stop in the place and like take a picture or a video and say, this is where I was, so that one day when I couldn't remember, at least I knew where I was. But anyway, on that mini break, I went to Scotland, and I think it was called King Arthur's Seat, and I climbed. Scotland is my happy place. I love it. Well, the water's my happy place, but as far as beautiful places to go, I love Scotland. And I climbed to the very top, very, very top, and that's the one place I decided, no, like, I can't take any pictures. I can never share this with anybody else, because this was for me. Well, it's really funny. This girl, I remember us kind of climbing down. We decided not to go the same way that everybody else did. And so we took a different path. And oh my gosh, we ended up scooting down on our butts and getting holes in our jeans and all kinds of things. But it was one of the most incredible experiences. I don't actually have any of the videos anymore, or any of the things anyway that I thought I'd one day save. But I do have that memory. I do wish I had taken more pictures. But the one thing that I know I could do and can do is I can share. So today in this part, I want to share the next part of my journey. And unlike when I kept Scotland to myself in that beautiful, magical place, like, I want to share more about the intentional release of emotional energy. You know, I'm really big on getting in touch with that our emotions are God-given and they are for us in awareness. But just because we feel a particular emotion, whether it be dark or negative, doesn't mean we need to react that way. We get to respond. The Word of God closes that gap between what we feel and what we should do. But it's so important to really acknowledge what we feel in life. You know, so many of us, like I said, we're all trauma-ridden. Like, this life is full of it. It's a culturally chaotic world, and we're trying to get through it, and we all need to find our things that make us click and find our uniqueness about ourselves. God says, you know, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we're made on purpose, and we're all different, but we all have the path, the journey home towards Him. But it's going to look a little different for all of us. So also in that, last night with some homeschool studies, we were looking in our science and weather, and we were thinking about, well, we weren't just thinking in the study of it, it's a Christian worldview, and how can you separate God and science? And we were explaining back, or I was explaining back to my son, like, you can't. That's one of the things I love about the recovery things, that there is a secular science point of view, and then also in other areas that I volunteer in, that there is a spiritual side. And then sometimes that focuses a lot on behavior, but we are whole beings. We are three-part beings. We have a mind that we get to renew. We have a spirit in Him that is regenerated by Him. And we can walk in that as we yield to it. And we're housed in a body. And God is the original author and creator of all of this. And He really knew what He was doing in His design. And so when we can take a biblical worldview to everything and not separate it, but combine it and see how it was originally supposed to work together, you know, we really begin to understand things. God is the author and creator, and it's really hard to separate a creation from the way it should work. Like, doesn't the one who makes something know how it operates? We need to remember that and keep him foremost. And he made our bodies, he made our minds, and so much, that I believe in a brain healthy lifestyle, because everything that we do is in the brain. We were also studying our homeschool studies from a very childlike perspective of that. Like our brain, like we can't do life without it. It's where we house our will, our mind, our emotions. It's where we make our choices. It's the thoughts that create the action. We live out loud life by what's on the inside. And, in our brain, we have all the different parts where, we have our thinking, we get messages from our body, and then our brain is like, hey, this is what we're doing. And then it sends the messages back through our nerves. And it's really cool how the whole body system just works together. And so often, some of the times we don't want to feel some of this stuff and some of the emotions. And so we do what we can to block them or to mask them or to numb them. I always talk about that was my favorite thing. Like it was either just tell me what to do and how to feel, or figure out a way to not feel the pain. But when you don't feel the pain, you don't feel the good. And pain's not a bad thing. Pain's a good thing. I'm not saying go look for it, but I'm saying embrace it, acknowledge it. It's an opportunity to say, hey, is there something different I can do? And can I work something else? In our design, it's so cool what God did. We're limited, finite beings in these bodies, and our body is also designed to go, hey, when it's too much, it's like our brain goes, hey, I got this, baby girl. Like you can't handle this right now. This is some overwhelm. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it right here. And when you're ready to deal with it, I got you, and we'll bring it back up. But especially if you're using alcohol or something else to numb it, we just keep doing a pile up. Hey, got it, put it here. Not feeling it. Until if we don't take the time, our body says, nope, there is a dis-ease in you, and I have to have you feel this because you told me one day you were gonna pay attention to it and you didn't. So I'm gonna boom, 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 I'm gonna bring it out. And we get mad at it, but really it's cool. Our body is saying, hey, I held this for you. I held this for so long, and I want you to feel it because I don't need to hold it anymore. I'm just carrying baggage. So let's take it and let's release it. So from a brain healthy lifestyle, that's where a lot of my focus is on I.R.E.E. And yes, I made that term up. It's the intentional release of emotional energy, because our emotions, our feelings, and our feelings are sensations through our body. And when we choose not to feel them, or we're in protective mode, or we can't feel them, our body holds them until it's time to release them. We get better every day at learning how to intentionally release that emotional energy so it's not stuck in us so much. Like, I don't know, a straw or something like that. Let's use the example. If you can't get the air down in it, you can't flow right. If our brain can't send messages like through our spinal cord and, all of our nerves talking, like you can't get the message, we can't operate in wholeness and fullness. And that's the same when our emotions get stuck. We're just not having that flow. And I know for me, it shows up in not only feeling stuck, but it feels tense and tight and can't relax. We have stress. And when we have those feelings, how do we show up? Show up like crap, like big crap. At least I do. And then then I stick in my emotions, and then I react rather than respond. And never me is the best way to show up. So I went on the dark side. I'm a pool girl. I'm a water girl. I found so much healing in the water and how it embraces, and just so much healing. We'll go into that later, but I walked on the dark side, and that was what I call land stuff. And people in life, they show up when we need it, when we're ready. And I have found even more from the beginning when I said with COVID, like, I will never be shut down again. I want to find different ways to motivate and operate within the wholeness, no matter what's going on outside of the world. And I meant that not only mentally, but also physically, because I don't want to hold on to things that are not meant for me to keep. They need to be here for awareness, and then I need to let them go. And I had a person who was so amazing and really worked with me, and it was so much mental. There's, that mind-body connection that I talk about all the time. And sometimes all these different thoughts and the silent voices in our head, all that cognitive dissonance, it shows up even in our workouts. And man, we hit some release today. We touched into some stuff I didn't even know existed. I think I still have this tear streaks down my face. Like here I am in a very open public place, just crying. And it was beautiful. We get to feel those things. So my encouragement today is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what we think is ugly. Don't keep holding on to it. Don't hold on to what's not yours. It's an opportunity to release it. We can release it and give it back. And that high that we're chasing, it's to feel good. And we want to feel good. We want to feel those emotions, and we want to embrace those ones that we call good and light energy, so that we can operate in wholeness. And that's what we get to do. We get to vary our workouts and our routine. And I'm always encouraging you to find your fit. I want you to find your fit because there's so many different ways that we need things in the moment. We need mindful movement, but not every time and every way is the same, because our emotions need different things at different times. And so we get to figure out all these variations, and we get to be aware of our thoughts, and we get to fall in love with our bodies and realize that they are what carry us through. And our original carrier, who is the original author of science, he's told us how we need to do these things. And so today, of course, have a happy day. And as you do, I want you to be you in him as you yield to his spirit. Renew your mind into the things that you know are good for that brain healthy lifestyle, so that you can live out loud life with intention and purpose, especially in intentionally releasing your emotional energy. Work it out in your body. Work it out. Find your fit and have a happy day.